Hey, g'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to me video for beginners. Today I'm going to paint a wave on a canvas sheet. The sizes are up there for you, for those people who want to know what size it is. And I'll also get some colours, there they go, going up the screen there like that. Because this video is designed for you to watch it, write the colours down, work out what mistakes I did do and didn't do, and work out the way you want to paint it, and then you can paint along with me. And believe me, a lot of people have messaged me and said, I can't believe after watching it a few times the things I missed in the first time. So it does pay to watch them a few times. And if it's your first time here, check out the links in the description below, become a member of my Facebook group page, and tell me you met me on YouTube, and share, like and subscribe, okay? Good stuff. Now, I'm going to do a wave. I've got a picture here to show you, and there's a bit of something else in this video I'm going to teach you beginners. When you've got a reference, a lot of us have a reference, and I want to show you how I look at a reference and see what's in it and work out what colours I'm going to use and how to approach it, okay? Then you can make up your own mind if you want to do it like me or do it your own way. So get on over here and let's get onto it, all right? Now here's the picture I found on the internet, a free website, and I've got the back blue, the front bluey green, the wave, and the wash, the whitewash, obviously in the shallow area. Now I can see, I'm looking at this picture and I'm not just looking at it and then grabbing the paints, I'm looking at it carefully. I can see a brown under here. So I've got my raw umber, or I'm going to probably mainly maybe use a yellow oxide, but I've got raw umber, or no, what is it? Raw sienna dark. Now in this here I've got the blue and I can see grey in it. Bits of grey in there, okay? So I've got my grey. Now I've got my turquoise, I can mix darker and lighter values, and I've got my blue. I'm going to use cerulean blue, which is up in here. There's some light bits of blue in here, but there's always some greys as well, and then the white. Now the white is going to be tainted, so it's not going to be pure white. I'll tease it up with these colours, okay? So when I want pure white on top of it to make it pop, I can put the pure white on top of that and it'll stick out like bees' knees. Now I'm just grabbing my putter on a brush, and I'm also a bit excited to show you the new paint rack I made. It's just out of some C channel, and I've painted and I've cut slots out in it just so the lid of the tube can slide in there. I got the idea from the shop. Theirs was a longer one, the way they had them displayed, and I've got them all just 3 rows of that on my paint board there. And also this flat board that I have my monitor on, I've done the same thing. I've cut it out so you can just put tubes in there, and you can see they're all everywhere you need them, so I can see exactly where they are instead of the rubbish pile they were on my desk. Now I hope you can see this line. That's the top of the wave and the back water, and that's the whitewash, okay? So we've pretty much put those lines there to govern where we want to do. Now I'm not going to use retarder in this because I'm not blending skies, but to get the colours to not be so chalky and draggy and dry, I will have some craft paint underneath it on its own without the retarder. So I'm going to do the top part first, where that grey blue was. Just this blue here. So I'm going to get all the craft paint in that area so I can get this blue the way I want, the bluey grey colour. Right, so I've got me craft paint. Now this helps your paint, in my opinion, glide across your canvas easier, not being so dark and chalky. So I'll get it roughly to there. It doesn't matter if I go under that line. Get that all into the tooth of the canvas, the woven stitch of the canvas. And now I'm just going to gently stroke it to get it nice and level and smooth and a thin film on top of my canvas. All right, now I'm going to mix up that blue with the bits of grey in there. So I've got the blue, and now I want to get the blue, the cerulean blue, and I've got a mid-tone grey, just to get that grey blue going. So I've just wiped the brush, I haven't washed it, and this is more of a greyer toned blue, because obviously wherever the light is in that photo, it all makes sense to the rest of the colour in that image. So there we go, cerulean blue and mid-tone grey. Now I'm going to get that all over my brush. There we go, so get your brush loaded up. And we'll just do it in this colour first, and then add the bits of blue. Because looking at the picture, there's more surface of this colour on this water. So I'm going to get this just get it up in the corners there. Now just crisscross it into all that white. See how it's allowed you to paint onto that craft white? It's good stuff to have in your art studio when you've got, instead of just putting the actual colour on there. So see how easy that was? Pick up some more if you feel it's a bit too light. Just put it here and there. Now it's just a painting, it's not a contest, it's not a side by side seeing how realistic you've got it, so don't get caught in that trap. Now we're just going to stroke this. There we go, I've got my bluey grey colour there. Okay, I've stroked it, but looking at the photo, that water's going up this way now, so I'm just going to push it that way. Okay, none of that's dry up there. Now I've got a round, it's a quite a coarse brush, but it's round because I feel this will help me get those bluer areas within that greyer blue water surface. So I'm going to try this. And if I feel it's mudding up too much, because we're going to get like, there we go. And then I can scrumble them in. If I feel it's mudding up too much, I will dry it a bit. Okay, and I'm looking at the photo there, there's like bits of blue here, so I'm just going to, on this angle, that's the angle I want to get all this blue in, because that's the way it's kind of sitting, and just kind of lightly touch it, feel your footing, and we'll get some of this just out there. Now I've got to load the brush again, because I feel if I'm going to start turning, I might get accidents. I want to control what I'm putting on the canvas. So here we go again, a bit dark there, it's all right, and we're just going to pretty much do this all over there until we can see, using the photo reference as a reference, but try not to copy the pattern of this colour too much, because you get caught. Just use it as a, here we go, as a reference only. Some of it's sort of laying from the middle of the clock going out to 3 o'clock out here. There we go. I'm twisting the brush as I'm throwing this onto the canvas. Now that's very wet. I'm not pressing very hard. Okay, some more out here. And some more out here. And then I'll look at the reference once I'm finished, because see, this is all one tone, a bit brighter here and here, or darker in colour. I'll work out where it'll help to have the darker values of this cerulean blue. Now I'm using cerulean blue here only because it's my favourite blue. I like to use it. To me, I feel in the acrylics it gives you more of a real colour there. And if you feel, which is quite possible, you've covered up too much of the grey blue, you can wash this brush and add it back. And that's pretty much it. I've cleaned that brush. I've got titanium white. Now it's going to get spoilt mixing with that colour that we've got on the canvas, but I just want to try and find little bits that's worth highlighting. But if I feel it's not going to work, I will stop. But I want to show you this. So it's very minimal, so I want to kind of, let's just see if we can hit something out here. See, that's very bright. So what I'm going to do, I'll get a bit there where I feel. And then I'm going to wipe that brush, just wiping all that paint off it. There we go. And I'll see if I can soften that in there. And I'll look in the monitor and I'll see if I feel I'm gaining anything or destroying it. It's not too bad. It's little bits of light out there, I suppose. So it's not too bad. But it's getting tainted with all that wet paint on there still. So it's not vibrant white. I don't want it to be vibrant white. There we go. Now I've dried that with my hairdryer, because I need time to speed up so I can get to the rest, but you can sit down and have lunch or something, because I'm going to put the next colour on top of that, and if anything it'll creep over that, okay? But if that had retarder in it, when I paint on it, it's going to be lifting it up like rubbery mud, and it's going to make you feel so frustrated. So that's why I didn't need retarder in there. Okay, so I'm going to get my craft white again and do the next section, which is I'm going to put the white over all this part of my canvas. So when I put these colours on, I can get them bleeding together a lot beautiful and smooth like that is there. So I better just want to mark here on the edge though where that's coming out, just so I've got a rough idea. And we'll just get this, just something like that, and then do the same as we did at the top. Because if I did all this in the beginning, this will be starting to dry and it's going to make it difficult for you to merge those colours. So that's why I'm doing it a bit at a time, okay? And as usual, once you've put it on there, just stroke it out nicely like that. Now I've got my raw sienna dark. I haven't even washed that brush, no need to. And I want to get that corner where the foam wash is there. I want to get the darkness under there, okay? So I'm just going to get this into the tip of my brush there like so. And that line that I had here, we want to get this, because this is obviously the shallow bit and it's got the sand under there. So we're going to get that just round about there like so. Now try not to leave a hard line there, just bleed it out. And we're going to bring our turquoise to that. Now I've just got turquoise out of the tub, so I'm going to use that as my main colour, then I'll put the lighter and darker values within it, okay? So mainly across here first, I'll wear it off the brush. Now see how this is going on the canvas? If you did a test and put that craft white on the canvas, get a brush in like a sky colour or blue or green, paint it on there and do it one with the craft and one without, and you'll see the difference. So now I want to get this, just bring it to that dirt colour and then all the way up there as well to the sky. This putter on a brush is brilliant for doing so many facets in the way I teach painting. Message me on Facebook if you want to get hold of that and some blending brushes. So there, now we're going to kind of just get this bleeding into that sandy shallow colour just like so. And then we'll stroke it. Now nothing needs to be dry because we want to blend stuff, okay? So now I'm going to look at the reference picture and I want to get where the white normally is. I feel you need it dark under there to highlight the whites. So we've got dark there and dark coming here, then a lighter colour in the middle. Haven't washed the brush. I'm going to pick up some of the cerulean blue and get a darker value of that turquoise going. Yeah, look at that. Oh, lovely. Now, it's pretty much blending into there, and you might think, well, it's not working, Ian. What you can do is give that bit a bit of a dry. So I'll do that now. Just while the camera's going, just on that little bit there, so you can see what I mean. All right, so we'll get that there like that. Boom, that'll do. And we'll do that again now. What's that? Don't know. So it's still a little bit rubbery and wet. We want to get that darker value all the way along to about here. And we got some of it down here as well. And then we can add the silvery blue. Coming a bit more. So I'm getting the brush strokes now following the shape of that wave as well. And they're coming up here. That's pretty dark. All there still. I'm putting the darks where they need to be there. I'm just quickly looking at the picture, locking it in where I want them to be on my painting. My painting's different to the picture. It's not exact, it's just referenced from that picture. And we want some more dark up here. There we go. So see how I gave that a bit of a dry? It's allowed it to sit on there darker instead of just washing into it. And I know I need that dark there because we're going to have white. Okay, now we'll put our lighter band through there. Now the turquoise, I want to mix some of that with white, okay, just to get our lighter bright value in the middle of that wave crest. So I'm going to mix it with a bit of white. This brush has done so much on this painting so far, it's wonderful, eh? There we go, we'll get that in there and we'll see if that's going to be the value. I want it a bit brighter. Now I just want it roughly around here-ish, from about there. This is a lighter value. Let's see how light we're getting. Yeah, now you want to blend this just like that with the tip of the brush. Beautiful. And get that band merged into there. Come up there a bit, merge this into that bit. See how this is hairy and gradiated beautifully where that's a hard line? I'm using the tip of this brush, finding the pressure and getting that there. I'm going to add some more white with that because I feel that's not white enough. Oh yeah, there we go, and do the same again. And it's obviously going up to about here-ish because we got the whitewash coming over there. So there's that. I want to gradiate that. And if I feel I've done it too much, I can put the darker colour back. And what have we got there? That's it. Now the rest is going to be kind of greyed. Now that grey blue we mixed, that's dry. So I'm mixing that again. And this is going to sit on top of that paint we just put to act as the light hitting it with shadow. So we'll get that on there. Now if you're a beginner, you can do this. Practice it and practice these procedures and you can do this painting. Don't be intimidated by how great they look at the end. It's how it's been created is what you can do. And going in the picture, we've got pretty much this grey colour scooting out here maybe a little bit. So I'm going to go in the direction that it is. Somewhere there. Somewhere there. Now I feel like up there, this needs a bit of a dry. Just where I'm putting this grey colour. Okay. Just so it will sit on there a bit more better than what it's doing now. And we got some of it here. And I'm just using this brush once again to get this on there. In the direction of that way. Because that's the way the wave's being pushed with its movement. And see, just adding these tinted values and shades and whatnot, it's just going to give it that more realistic look of a wave when we add all the white on top. Because see, that's pretty much it. What's under there? Something's under my canvas. That's pretty much it. The rest is white, believe it or not, which brings it to life. I'm looking at the picture and I could see where this dark is meeting there. It's kind of fingering up that way. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a flat and try and join this, but not come too much into that there, and try and get those movements there and scrumble them back into this darker area. Okay, now if you feel yours looks fine the way it is and you don't want to go this far, it's up to you how far you go with my tutorials. You can do that extra bullshit flavour or just leave it humble until you're ready to cross that bullshit bridge, which is a bridge of adding the wonderful detail and the wowness within your painting. Now a lot of you familiar with me know what that means, but a lot of you just watching me for the first time, when you add bullshit values to a painting, that's when someone is looking at your painting and instead of them just going, wow, that looks all right, they step back and go, bullshit, did you paint that? That's the bullshit we add into a painting. And see, this doesn't take long to do what I'm doing here now. I'm kind of adding little bits of darkness here and there, going through some of that grey. This is just a flat soft. Now what I want to do next is I want to quickly get all this white foam whitewash here, make it quite white but leaving deliberate bits of that brown underneath it. Now I've got a little flat that's worn quite broad at the end there. It's great for scrumbling, and you want to get your good titanium white out of the tube. I'm spreading it down flat on the palette So as I'm not going into a big thick blob, I just want to control. See what I'm putting on the end of that brush? I'm not getting too much on there. Now I'm going to just get some of this swirling. Is that dry? Yeah, that's dry, but it'll still scrumble. We want some of this swirling, but leaving bits. So dab it on, and it'll show brighter values of white and lighter values of white. And then we'll bring out the edge roughly where we feel it needs to be. So I'm going to try and replicate all that whitewash within this here. And even if we do it in layers, how's that looking? Yep. Even if we do it in layers to build it up, once it do a bit, then it might dry, because we need brighter values within this as well. Now it's getting quite chunky here as it comes to the bottom signature corner of the painting. And just play with it. I'm just manipulating it. I'm looking at the thing every now and then, but I'm not getting tranced with it, you know, and confusing myself, because you can get tranced with a reference and you start confusing yourself. Okay, now see what I meant by having another pass, because there's too much brown showing through that, and if I feel it is, I'll add a bit more white on top once I've done this pass. So let me finish doing this all the way pretty much across to there. Okay, all right, now I've done that, but I just want to put the edge of it in. Okay, using I'll get a bit wet, a liner brush here, just so I can govern the tight edge where I want this to sit on top of that water. So I'm going to squiggle this into there like so. Because on the picture it does have lines, and these lines I want to go like this, just twist them. I'll do a bit, and then I want to scrumble from that down, but not scrubbling it all white. You want some of that other colour showing. So this is, get out there, I'll show you way out here, there, and then we're going to leave the top of that line, but just get this brush on the bottom of it and pull it down, and making the ringlets of the wash, so to speak. Let's see if that's working. So you need gap between this and this line here. So say up here, we'll come up here, right? Look at that. And then we're going to pull it down. Just do a bit at a time, because if you go too far and it's too dry, it's not going to work for you, and you go, oh my goodness, it's not working like it did for him. Well, it just means you didn't listen, that's all. And sometimes you can sit them back with another powerful one, maybe there. Just breaking it all up. And I hope that's looking reasonably reasonable. Bit at a time, bit at a time. Bring the bottom down, scrumble it, see? And just to finish that off, I'm getting some more brighter values within here, just to sink a lot of this whitewash. There we go, kind of dangle, dilly-dally around with it. There we go, and it'll look the part. Now we're going to add this white here. There, oh, there, like that. Not worried about this spray. So see, we've got a bit of green there, so I'm going to add all that white in. I'm using a flat edge angled brush, just in that titanium white out of the tube, not the craft white. This one's more thick and dense, okay? Now, like I said, we can taint that. So I'll grab a little bit of turquoise, just to taint that up a bit, okay? Let's get there, that's too... There we go, too much, but that'll do. That way I can add brilliant white on top of that, and it'll stick out like the bee's knees. So I'm going to quickly look at, let's get that tapered on your brush. Now look, there's a bit of a hump here, so I'm going to pretty much put that in there, but I'm going to use the edge of this brush like that, and I'm going to get the top half where I want, where I could see some of the green there. So it's pretty much all the way along there, coming a bit lower there, coming off the page. And then this bit is dangling all the way up there. This is all the thick heavy foam coming there. And you want the brush to create the natural density of all this foam coming up there. So now I'll just paint that there like so, and this will be built up as well. When we build this up, you'll see the magic happen. Okay, so this, does that look white in the monitor? Yeah, it looks white. Now see how this is all hairy and watery and wave action looking? That's what I wanted. Now I'm chiseling up the brush as I load it up again, and it's pretty much coming all the way across there, and it'll probably start coming down here. So a little bit, make it your own, wiggle it, about there. There we go. And it's coming down to about there. So we've got all the dark area of green under this, highlighting it, okay? Now I want to get that, so I'm going to pull it back a bit with the edge of this brush, just to get the shape of that white there. There we go. Play with it. Now this bit here is coming down, so I'm not going to get locked in there, so it's coming down there a bit, splashing, going to come along here. And pretty much the top of that now has to show some of that darker colour to make it look like the waves turning. And how far does that go? Pretty much to about there, then it goes up again. It's important to have that bit of green there to make the wave look like it's bending. So we have our wave here now coming down. Where are we? Coming down there, and it's kind of falling here as well. Bit there. Leave some of that dark coloured band that we put in there, leave some of that, make sure that's there. If it's not, you're going to bugger it. And then this is obviously whooshing all the way down to here, coming up here somewhere, another bit of dark paint there, and that's just off the painting there like so, and coming up in the wind. So that's pretty much our white tainted. We can stamp all that in now and get on to the next bit. This is a very easy painting to do if you follow these steps. Now I've got a liner brush. I've inked the water down a bit, the paint down a bit with a bit of water, because there is some distinctive white lines here, very thinly, and they help make the wave look like the wave it is. So we're going to put something of that degree in there. Just like that. All right, we've done that. Now I'm going to get the spray happening on there, okay? It's coming up. And I'm just going to use a flat brush. So I'm just going to lightly get it, it's dry, because I want to try and create that spray look. I'll start from here. Now the way this spray is, it's got to sort of come up and back up here to 2 o'clock position, okay? That's the way it's looking. Don't want to go all just willy-nilly up in a big upward position, okay? So from here, we're coming out with, say, there's a bit of white, and I want to try and get, there we go, some of this. How's that looking? Yeah, I've got to get it a bit better, because where this joins this tainted green, that tainted white, we'll add white in there to really create the values of the water in the wave. Okay, so there's some there. I hope this is going to work. And we got bits shooting out everywhere. Just take your time with this. Shooting up there. It's very dry, it's not too much. Now over this side, it's like, where's that coming down? This bit here is sort of, it's going to have some strong white there, but that's sort of coming up off that, okay? We got bits like that. The bits in here is what's going to pull it. Now that dark bit that we left there, it's important we get this nice over it. There's going to be some vibrant white there. There will be some in there. There's a bit from the middle, so I'll get that bit there now and try and get this up there. There we go. You want to leave that green there. You don't want to cover it up too much with this spray. And there's a nice bit right on the end of this coming up there. Now I'm grabbing this brush and putting the vibrant white in this wave where it needs to be with this. So that way all that tainted white, it's going to stand out on top of that tainted white. Now I'll switch to a little round brush and I'm kind of joining where we're having this vibrant white, and we're kind of connecting that to the spray there. But don't cover up that dark green that we needed left behind there. And what it's doing is we're just, like, there's nice white bits right here just splashing and, you know, all that sort of behaviour. I don't know how to make the sound, but I'll try harder next time. But yeah, something like that. And we've got that tainted white underneath, so it's adding depth within our white. Some bits are brighter than others, and they're just... How's that looking in the monitor? It's looking a little bit better. Along here there's a lot of spraying up from there. Look at that. Pushing it up like points of water. There we go. And we do have some... Just play with it. Look at the picture for a little bit and work out where you need some sprays to happen from all this. Because that, all this stuff under there is the underpainting of the spray for what we're doing now. And like there's a nice bright piece coming off here, and then it turns into this spray up there right vibrantly. This one has some good turmoil within it. There's a little bit coming here and just coming from here and up into the spray. So you're merging the two areas together. You're sort of pushing it up and let it do on its own behaviour. Now the blue and grey colour that we've had all over the place, I've gone and added white with that just to get this lighter grey bluey value with this round brush, because in here there's light hitting and we want to try and get our brush wiped a bit. We want to try and get some of that in there. Is my camera in the right spot? Yes, it is. So I want to follow all these movements, okay? So there's that one there. There's a bit of a billowing of it here somewhere. Lightly does it because you want to smooth these out. This is just the light hitting that. You don't want this to look white. I'm hoping that's not looking white. No, it is the grey colour. There are, see how this is dark and that's light, so I'm going to try and wipe it off the brush and try and weld those two together. Don't panic and feel, oh no, I'm buggering it up. Don't lock yourself to the reference picture. Just go in your own mind and put it where you want it. Put a bit there. Try and get them artistically looking. And if you have really stuffed it, these lines have got to be more in cahoots with each other. You can add the darker colour back. It's probably a nice band of light coming in here, so I get some nice sweeping light. There we go. See this like that. Just get some light in there. Oh, golly, I just hit it. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Oh no, what have I done? I'll have to get the darker value and just go back over it like that. There we go, all over Red Rover. That's pretty much it for that colour. I'm just adding more, just trying to finish all the detail off within this spray here without it looking too glumpy. This wave contains a lot of spray, so if you have a better way to do the spray, by all means do it your way. I'm just showing a beginner how they can do a bit of a wow factor of a wave, something a bit different. Now it's not in the reference picture, but I will, for the sake of this painting the way it's looking, I'll put some of those washy soapy veins here with a liner. And I've got my white, and you need it quite wet, but not wet to the fact that the paint's gone see-through-y, okay? So get it on there. And if anything, I want to mainly see these soapy lines here that we put on before. I'll detail them a bit more, the way they could, would and should be. Okay, twist it in there. Because that soapy veins that I want, probably want it coming from them. So let's not overdo it though. So let's get a bit there. Let's follow the wave and let it run away. I've come around, but let it run away to that darker colour. Don't go right into it. And let's try another one here. Oh, it's a little bit watery, that's okay. It'll lighten up a bit. Real squiggly, interlocked, like honeycomb shape, I suppose, the way it looks. I've never done this before, but it's fun. Doesn't have to be all joined up. You can just have bits frothing up and coming from it. Yeah, look at that, eh? That looks like bent lightning within the wave, wave lightning. We got wave lightning. I want some of it here. So nice frothy bits there, crisscrossing, and then bring it over around there like that, yeah. And this is just another bullshit flavour you can add to your, I don't want to go too much there because that's the crest of it. We can come from, let's say, here if you want, and come up and stop, maybe, if you want. I don't know, I'm just discovering this as I go. See, I've never done this before, so I'm showing you how easy you can do it if you want to paint it the way I just showed you, okay? I feel what it's done for this painting is connected this part of the wave to the rest of the water, because I was feeling it was kind of disconnected, and that's why I'm doing this. It's not in the reference picture, but it's in my painting because I feel it's connecting it back up, okay? And we'll see what we could probably put some of this here maybe, but not too much. If this looks stupid, I can just blank it back out. Yeah, that's all right. All right, just to finish it off, this spray, I want to kind of get it just finished. So using that little scrumbling brush that I had before, I'm going to get some in there. Just so as it, you know, like when you're putting fog or mist into a painting, same sort of thing. So mainly at the top here, I want to, let me just see if I can get something going here. Find the motions you need to do to get it looking the part. It's just finishing the edge off. Is it doing anything or jack? You want it very light. There we go, get some light misty spray going. I'll have a look at my monitor. All right, we'll whack a signature on it, and I've got to thank Miss Moonbeam for kissing my dreams. She sent me these brushes. She knows who she is. She didn't want me to tell everybody, but she knows who she is. Now I'm going to whack an autograph on here. And check out the links in the description below. All my painting tutorials are for sale, and the ones that have been snapped up and sold, the prints are available as well. And you message me on Facebook if you're interested in a painting or the brushes or a print, or even if you want to join my group there. Check out all those appropriate links and have fun. So we'll put my autograph on here, and then we'll whack a frame on this little puppy, eh? All right, let's put a frame on this and see how she looks. Yeah, that's not too shabby, hey? When people are looking at that, they know they are looking at a wave. And you as a beginner, I know you can do that, all right? Well, I hope you enjoyed this exercise. Like I said, hit the links below and see what's available for you there. Share, like and subscribe. And if you like what I'm doing, you make sure you tell your friends, eh? But hey, if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.